Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and radio. Yes, that's right. It's official. As of Friday, we have our own radio stations in addition to being on Business Talk Radio out of New York. Our show today is Leadership of the Heart. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and my co-host and friend and coach mentor extraordinaire is here with us as well. Let us welcome MARISKA from, you got it, New Zealand. Welcome to the show.
Hello, and thank you for, again, a lovely introduction. I love that.
You are welcome. And what people don't realize is that you and I meet on Sundays to film part of the Elevated Listening community, and we just have so much fun. Yesterday, we were doing fitness tips. We were doing lunges together.
Yes, we were doing lunges together, and for you it was afternoon, for me it was morning, so it was a really good way for me to actually start my Monday, because you had Sunday, but I was already starting my week. So we have loads of things where we have fun, and I always enjoy it.
Well, thank you. I always enjoy it too. And I always learn so much from you, because you look at things from a different perspective than me, because sometimes I'm sort of, what is it called? Heads down in the weeds. And you help pull me back into the big picture.
I think for a lot of us, we have a tendency to, especially when we're very focused and concentrating on something, that's a bit of a bum up, heads down sort of situation. And we don't always come up for air to see where we have traveled to. And it's always good to have a little bit of a pull back so we can see whether we're still going in the direction that we intended, and we're not going to go off a cliff.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yes. So I also want our audience to know that we have a great guest who has registered for today, and I've heard from her. She's having some challenges getting backstage on StreamYard. So we'll try to help her on the commercial break. But we were going to be talking, I believe, about technology, spirituality, and how they're all intertwined with leading with your heart. So let's sort of break that down, Mariska. And before we get into the topic, I want to spotlight you. And if you can share with our audience who's joining for the first time, how do you help people as a transformation and leadership coach?
Ooh. Okay, so for those of you guys that's joining us for the first time and don't know anything about me, I am a leadership and transformation coach, as Dr. JACALYN just mentioned, and I help leaders to take themselves to the next level. And there's a lot of ways that we can do this within different spaces. So normally when I enjoy working with leaders that's gone from a specialization into leadership, especially, and then leaders going from their one level of leadership up within their leadership journey. And things that we take into consideration during those times is around our identity, our values, and how these things play into our new role for us. So that is what I do when I am not on the platform or busy with Dr. JACALYN doing lunges.
I love it. It's fantastic. I also want our audience to know that in addition to being a co-host and an elevated listener, you're also a talking head expert and panelist. And I just want to put up this graphic because this is happening tomorrow. I can't even believe it. We have the Talking Heads panel, and here it is. So this is the first time that this group of talking heads will be together on the stage, on the screen. And we're also going to be joined by someone who's not a talking head. He's a friend of USA Global TV and Radio. His name is David Shine, and he'll be joining us. So right before we start the show, I'll be giving the panel the topic for discussion. So they won't have met each other before. They won't have had this, any idea what we're going to be talking about. How do you feel about it, Mariska?
Well, I knowing you, I know the topic will definitely be thought-provoking. So around that area, I'm not too scared. As to what thoughts they might provoke within the group, I am very interested to see what actually comes out of it. And as far as I remember, between the 6 of us, I'm going to be the sole female representative.
I have great news for you. Diane is able to make it.
Really?
Yes, Diane Floyd Beam is able to make it. So that's great news. I'm glad.
Now we too.
Yes. And I'll be moderating. So whatever happens, just stand your ground.
Yes. Yes. We will definitely be doing that. And of course, I know that all the guys joining us are gentlemen.
Yes, they
are.
So
we will definitely have a very lively and respectful conversation.
Definitely agree. So I'll be up tonight pulling my hair out, coming up with the topic. No, I'm kidding. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Mariska, we shared a little bit about the work that you're doing, and we shared about the show for tomorrow. I'd love for us to go into now about spirituality and leadership. And I'll give an example. I remember when I was in my corporate career, there was a certain organization based out of Philadelphia, and I think they're still there. And they had in-house ministers and priests that were there during the day for people, the employees, to go and speak with. And I think it was basically ministers and priests. And the Christianity is a big part of this organization, and it's a faith-led organization. So in that case, I guess if you're not a Christian or don't have Christian beliefs, that might be something to consider. I don't know. What are your thoughts about bringing this level of religion, I guess, as opposed to spirituality into an organization? You think it's helpful?
I think it really depends on the organization's mission in the world, what they're up to. So we have, and to me, that is one of the things to take into consideration when we interact with other people around us. I remember when I was little, my dad used to say, avoid topics on religion, politics, and sex. For most people, those can be quite controversial, and beliefs would run most likely fairly deep. So if that is part of the organization's structure and their mission in the world, and it helps them, by all means, you will attract the people that is right for you within that space. And we bring with us our own spirituality. Doesn't really matter what faith you belong to, in any case, because you are a whole human being. And in areas where we don't necessarily have a specific or predominant faith that we sort of support within that organization, it can sometimes become a little bit tricky not to step on toes, because you're not always aware of what the other person's beliefs might be. And conversations around that, I have found, especially within corporate, are either avoided or they are not necessarily received in an open manner. So it is very interesting to see how we can incorporate more of that within our workspace. What have you found, JACALYN?
I think you brought up some really good points, and we'd love to hear from our audience. If you're watching on the live and you'd like to participate in the conversation and tell us what your experience has been, that would be terrific. Yes, I agree that it's always been an uncomfortable area when I was in corporate, that you had people who were this religion or that religion or no religion, or basically very spiritual, and it sort of becomes awkward and people feel like they're either excluded or it's just not a topic they want to discuss. So I think there's a lot of work that can be done in that area, and especially with regards to spirituality, because this has been an awakening for all of us around the world through the pandemic, a cleansing, a clearing. And I think that many of our guests in the last couple of weeks have actually talked about the need for more family time and the need for more spirituality. So I think it's something that we need to put out there and see how it's received. But our good news is that our guest is backstage. So we are really excited. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to welcome her, give her a proper introduction. So stay with us. We'll be bringing Preet Dev out right after the break. We're going to take a short break and hear from a couple of our sponsors. So stay with us.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Take a moment.
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 So I've had the privilege of photographing some incredible people over the years, and during each shoot I've asked the subject to close their eyes and take themselves to a peaceful place just for a few seconds. I've found that this really helps to refresh the energy between the camera and the subject. They had an energy that was quite special and quite different from the rest of the shoot. The collection grew, and now it feels the right time to use it for something good. I think it'd be amazing if we could help to raise awareness and involve people in the discussion about mental health. So what we're asking to do is for everyone to upload their own self-portraits. All of these portraits will become part of a massive artwork. I'm really excited to see this project go from hundreds of pictures to thousands of pictures. Essentially, an ever-evolving artwork that says we're all in this together.
Close your eyes and take a moment.
October.
Okay, fabulous. Well, it's always good to see you. And for people who are joining for the first time and haven't met you, we're going to spotlight you. And I shared just a little bit of what your titles are, but tell us what it is that really drives you, what you're passionate about.
Today's topic is leadership, hey? And I was just reflecting, what if leadership is not about leading? What if leadership is about love, kindness, and caring? So I work with several leaders, and sometimes they use certain words. I'm a leader, I've got to lead. And that really comes from, I think, it really comes down to point where what is that we offering and how much people are able to, if leadership is about, if it's about leading, then who we leading? People. And then what kind of relationship that we have with them. And if relationship is about caring, love, then why is that that's missing? That's like, does that business or leadership lives in different kind of vacuum? It lives. This is a fabric of our being. So yeah. So I'm passionate every single day about bringing love on the table. And tech investment, I'm really passionate about technology. I think we can use technology for good. So I talk to several technologists on regular basis and inspiring them to create better technology.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. And technology is something that touches most people's lives, right? Whether it's that thing that's glued to our hands or the device that we're communicating. Yet, yeah, I have my Apple Watch too. I love it. I'm a slave to the thing. But what I've also found is that people don't always embrace the technology. And when you're in a corporate environment, many times from the top down, there are edicts that say, hey, you need to learn this CRM program. You need to incorporate this platform, that platform. And that's something that people say, well, wait a minute, that's not my job. I thought I was supposed to do this. And so there becomes sort of a dividing line where people now feel like they're not being embraced. So what are your thoughts, Preet, and then I'll go to Mariska, about how we can infuse love with the leadership and the new software releases and the new platforms that we keep incorporating, like Zoom, for example. You know, people didn't know anything about Zoom, and now we're all zoomed out.
Yeah, totally. So the biggest, I think, to be a good leader, you have to be present to your people and understand where they're coming from and where they're coming from and what do they really need and what are the systems that actually work for them. Always having feedback from your people that you who are working for you, and that can create this bridge where we can constantly getting feedback and then we can create better technology. I tell a quick story. I was talking to 21 technologists, and they are all into like digital transformation, cybersecurity. And I asked them a question: how can an entrepreneur like me can help you guys? And they said, well, we can be like this kind of tunnel kind of vision. If you would give us feedback, what is out there in the world that we got to create? So I told them this quick story about my nephew. One day, my nephew was 6 years old at that time, and he called me crying hysterically. I said, what's up with you, babe? He said, tell mommy to give me $250 right now. I'm like, what you gonna do with $250? My robot in Roadblocks is naked, and I need to dress him up. So he's like putting his foot down, and I said to him, look, I've got several of these people who create these things are my friends, and they don't even give it to their children, these type of things. And he was, I don't care, I just need $250. So I told this story to them, and I requested them that please make technology that do not make my nephew cry. So we have this banter, like for good technology, for bad technology, like the robot is naked. So my point is that so all these the gamifying, all these, so much there is. And how can we now see how much can we really handle? So less technology, but good technology, which is effective and actually productive. But of course, it's also about inside of ourselves as well. So every human being has to understand, when is a time. So people's mind, when they are out of control, they forensically can't get rid of their phone. So it's also about self-care, self-love, and we can only receive other people's care and kindness and love when we have kindness and self-care for ourselves.
Mhm.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Mariska, would you like to add anything to that?
I love the story about the robot. I absolutely love that. Um, and I think it is I mean, what your nephew reminds me of is that caring, right? He's got this little robot and he loves the robot, and that's why he wants to get clothing for the robot, and now he needs the money so that he can do that.
Right.
So there's all sorts of ways that we can incorporate a caring into what it is that we do, whether it is developing technology, using technology, leading people. There is always that underlying, we are human, and we do need to care for each other because, well, if we don't, why are we even here? What's the point? So I love that you are incorporating the love and the caring into helping these guys to actually see that there's more to it than just creating a new fun app or a new piece of technology that can do something for us. And it might even put some blinkers on our view of the world. What's your take on that?
Yeah, thank you. It is pretty serious. One of our really close friends, her daughter studies in Monaco, and her school children started to boys started to really use a bad language to girls, and nobody could understand what was going on. And then they brought this consultancy from London, and they found all the boys were playing this game. I think it was called Theft Auto. And so apparently in the game, the agency, they slowed down the video and the game they were playing, and there was rapes, murders happening in the alleys, and the soldier, the when their avatar kind of plays, it's like going really fast. So, and then parents were crying. So all these things matter, because when technology is bad and we don't understand the effect of it, how badly can affect. And so we need to figure out, how can we, what is the technology I can really play with, which is safe for me, my children, and future generation. It has to empower us. How can we, so it's a careful, I think what I'm trying to say is we have to be really careful. It has serious impact in our lives.
Excellent. Yeah, something I'd like to add, it actually just took place today, is that I'm looking to take this technology platform to a whole other level that will give so many opportunities to people around the world to have their own shows, whether it's through USA Global TV or it's not. And it's a big step. But the reason why I bring it up is that the two people I've met with so far treated me with such kindness and made it so easy for me to understand what this next level was going to do, so that I wasn't overwhelmed. And I was thinking to myself, once I make this commitment, I'll be partnering with these people. And how do I feel about the way I'm being treated? And I really like it. So I wasn't even actually fixated on the number of what it was going to cost. I was like, wow, these people are going to be an extension of my team. And I really like the way I feel just in these conversations. So I think that's important as well. What are your thoughts?
I think it's about presence. So you were present with these people and you observed and you felt your intuition. Isn't that wonderful? So I bring it back. Maybe leadership is about being present and love and kindness. So that's beautiful.
Yes, because it could have gone any other way. And when especially if you're as a business owner, there are many ways that we can invest in our business. And people are reaching out on a regular basis asking us to do this or do that. It's interesting. I get a lot of emails about things that have no application to what it is I'm doing, which I always think is, do your research first. But the point is that if it doesn't matter about what the dollar value is going to be, if the way you're feeling about this relationship and where it's going to go, that's really pivotal. And I think that's what we're saying here, that kindness, that humanity, that shared values really makes a difference.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
And Preet, I want to ask you to describe for us, we understand destiny, right? We think we do. What is our destiny? And we can understand architects. What does an architect do? So when you put those together and you put together the kindness and the love, what does that all look like?
Thank you. It's a product I've created. So when we understand where we come from, all the ups and highs and lows that we had in our life, the school of life we've been to. So I wanted to understand that, and I did it for myself and several of my close friends and family. So we created this product, quantum life mapping, and we go back to your childhood, where you were born and where you are today and where you are going and what your missions are. So once you have that clarity, then we can figure out, okay, well, maybe this is not the path for me, or narrow it down. And then once we have the clarity, then law of attraction also works, so you can manifest the destiny you really want. So it's destiny by design, not by accident.
And what have you been receiving in terms of feedback? That's really cool what you're doing.
Yeah. So we got this whole big map that we create for people, and we also have cool technology that we're developing around that. Right now we do manually, but then initially, but we got this technology that we will create that can help people understand different ways that they could take in life. We just want to give a visual. The time to take the map, to get the map is before you enter the woods. Brendan Bruce. Right. So what is the map? How are we looking to? So we are in this life. We, like it or not, we are here. So now, what are the rules of the game? Somebody tell me, and once somebody tell me, please don't change them. So we can understand by having this visual in front of us, and I can help them map that out, because one of my God gifts is to ask very investigative, deep questions. And when I ask people questions and they haven't thought about it, just really touch them. So I think what I do is best is help them get connected to their heart. So my ideal clients I really want to work with, who have a good heart, but whatever happened in their lives, and they feel disconnected. And within few meetings, I can help them connect with their heart. That's what brings me the most joy. But right now, this new product I've created, I'm really excited about it. It's going to really help them take the quantum leap into the next phase of their life. Because look, for God's sake, we have a war in this world right now. So how are we showing up in this world right now? Every single day, there are people going through a bunch of stuff. Am I utilizing the resources? That's another thing that we do, really understand what's happened in my life and what were the challenges, barriers that I had to already overcome, what my values are, what are my qualities, what my skills are. So all the resources I've got available to hand, once you have that blown in front of your face, and then you can take really quantum leap steps. That's my intention to do this work.
That's really exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how do you work with clients? And can you work with clients anywhere?
Yeah, remotely. And I love to work face to face, because I'm such an emotional, touch being. And So but yeah, it's a work. But ideally, I would like to work face to face, because then I can really make that big impact for them.
And have you found with this product that you've developed that you would expect it to take a certain amount of time for the results to, or, for the people to say, oh, yes, I got the results I wanted?
Yeah, it's going to bring them very instant results. We get paid in self-development industry. We don't get paid for knowledge. I've got 1,800 books in my library. So I haven't read all of them, by the way. So, but I feel touched by them. So we get paid in self-development industry for transformation. So for me, creating this product is all about how can I just want to give them that visual to really help them understand. So once they see that, and what steps can they take, they can see their options, and they get this new energy. So one of the mottos that I have for this is reimagine, re-energize, repurpose for your work, for your life, where you are in your life. So I believe that it will bring very good, big transformation. But of course, people, Lisa Nichols says this, it's more like shelf help book, knowledge. So of course that is there, and I'm no magician. I can bring the horse to the water, and the horse has to drink the water. I'm super passionate about my work every single day.
Thanks for sharing that. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. Mariska, as a transformation coach yourself, that sometimes people think that, okay, I can't do it myself. I know I'm not happy. Something's missing. I'll hire someone and they'll wave a wand and put some pixie dust, and then everything's going to change.
Yeah.
But you have to actually show up and do the work.
Right. Yeah. And I wanted to mention one more thing. So this is not just work for the individual. This is also work for the company as well. So as a business, how do you have, because you have so many strands of your businesses. So we take them through this journey as well. So the one is for life and one is for business, but also for relationships. Just wanted to add that.
So it's really good that you clarified that. So it's individuals, it's businesses, and it's also personal relationships.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So Preet, I'm wondering, you mentioned that you are developing some technology that helps with this. So how does that look like? How would somebody use it within their personal development or within the organization? So
artificial intelligence is a gift in so many ways if we can use it in that way. We all have heard news about robots, trying to be harmful. Back there, movies about it. But actually, artificial intelligence can be used for good. I have an amazing angel in my life. He's a technologist, and he knows everything I need to know, or I ever need to know about, machine learning. So with him, I creating this product where people can just kind of create these mind maps eventually for themselves, because the machine will help them, walk them through that.
Wow, that's so cool.
Almost like having a live map.
Yeah. I wouldn't be needed then. Might as well take a retirement.
I think some people are still mystified when they think about robots, but robots actually are integral in so many different industries. We're just not aware of it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But then it also comes back to the intentions or leadership. So if we, all of us are, I believe all of us, I look at your beautiful faces, we are light workers. Every single day we wake up, we are doing light work. So if in this technology world, we need to have these dialogues. And that's why I'm trying to do all the different work I do apart from my own business. Some of the work I do is voluntary. So I'm just present there to have dialogues with these leaders to make technology that does not make my nephew cry. So and how do we now take from that space and walk them through to connect with their hearts, and so they can do better things. And I'm very, very passionate about entrepreneurship. I think um, if we can nourish entrepreneurs, and as a leader, I'm 43-year-old woman, and I've been to School of Life, and how can I now use my experiences to share that love with entrepreneurs, nourish them, so they can create better stuff. And that's why mostly I'm so heavily invested into technology, to have that role.
Yeah, that's really an important role. And you mentioned about your nephew, and a thought that came into my mind was, I remember watching a show called Shark Tank. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I think you've Dragon's Den or something similar. And a number of the episodes featured parents with their children, and their children had started coding, writing programs, developing apps, and really go, like, because they've been brought up with technology, they understand it probably better than somebody my age when I was their age. So I'm wondering, what are your thoughts as a tech investor and as someone who's created this product to help people really hone in on who they are, what they are, and their heart? What do you think about children at an early age getting involved in platforms like this, as opposed to being outside and playing with sticks and with their friends out on the playground?
Yeah, it is really hard. I think my nephew seems to be the star of the show today. The other day he took the this is again last year. He's now 8. He just turned 8. But he paid for something, and he went to my brother-in-law's face and recognized the face recognition, and paid for something. And brother-in-law said, "What just happened?" And so of course these children are super, super smart. Again, I would just connect them. It's all about the heart. If we make them aware of things, but even though I'm saying these about children, but I think they are so much more evolved. They are smart, but they are so much evolved. And if we can just have those conversations with them, that okay, well, if you do this. And then he did call me after he cried, and he called me and said, Masi means auntie, I do not ever want to buy anything on roadblocks anymore. I just play with it. But the problem is that they make them play this game, and they bring it to a certain level, and then the children feel like pulled to make these purchases. So that's when I think that's a bad technology. But for children, it's about having conversations with them, making them aware with love, making them aware that this is not conducive for their growth, because they have to develop certain faculties. And if they're stuck to the computer the whole time, my sister is so strict with him. He does a lot of technology things. And if he's going for a walk, he sometimes say, "Can I take my iPad with me?" And and she's like, "No, that's non-negotiable." And the other day he said it was his birthday, and he said, today is my birthday, my rules." And she said, "Well, this is a rule you cannot break, that you take your own computer with you." But it's just about having conversations with them, and that way we can have this. This one particular leader said to me the other day that, "Oh, you would never know if I have a problem. You would never know that I have a problem with certain people." I said, "That's not a virtue. That means that you don't have meaningful relationship with people, deep relationship." And so that's one way, by conversation. I repeat, conversation is about conservation. So how do we host that and hold us in a sacred space for children, and to connect with their heart?
Yes, you have to tell your nephew that we said hello.
I would. He watches my show actually. When I tell him last time when you were interviewing me, he actually watched that. I said, "What did you learn?" He goes, "Oh, some good stuff."
I love it. Preet, my understanding is that you're really wonderful at being able to get the inter entrepreneur to come out of someone. So to me, what that means is I was in corporate for my whole career and I didn't know that I had an entrepreneurial spirit in here. I thought I would just work for someone else for the rest of my life. But you can see that in someone and you help them connect to that and do that in a way that's meaningful. Can you share more about that?
Yeah, that's a very beautiful question. When we really connect it to our heart, we basically have very high values and it's very hard to work and stay and survive in the corporate world because your company tells you, they give you a paycheck and you have to follow their rules, their whatever they ask you to do. And when I was working in the corporate world 8 years ago, my last job was at Adobe, and I realized the reason I quit my job, and I didn't know what I'm going to do, but I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur, but I just didn't know how. Um, I had this realization that I'm selling piece of my soul for a paycheck. So somebody has to first of all have that kind of that suffering that, okay, this is enough. The butterfly when the caterpillar. So the caterpillar is like, there's a butterfly the whole time inside of it, but the caterpillar is shredding that. It's in so much pain, it suffers and it goes like this. So first of all, you have to be present to that's what you're going through, metamorphosis. And then once you have that, the butterflies is inside, and then you start to kind of open your wings slowly, and you look at other butterflies, and when they are flying, and you get that confidence that if they can do it, I can do it. So that's what I would say. So you have to it comes down to being present. So one of the trainings I love to share with people is to how to develop that presence more with themselves, with their other people around them, with their other employees or colleagues, but also with the environment. Because environment is a big part. We exist in here, so environment affects us. So if we don't care for what matters to us, how are you gonna, that's not gonna sustain. So being present is the most important thing. So you got to be present with your inner feelings. And then of course people like us always helping other people who going through a bunch of stuff, and this is sort of our mission in life, to help them, to be the conduit. I can't take at least credit for it. I think it's a God gift. So I just help people when I'm helping them. It's a God gift, and then they receive the benefits of it.
Absolutely. You brought out so many great points there. I want to just go back, and I personally know from being in corporate and being very well paid and having great benefits and traveling around the world, it's hard to walk away from that, because the money just comes into the bank account. There it is, there it is, there it is. And then when you go out on your own, it's like, oh, you really learn the value of $1, of €1, of whatever it is. So I know people right now who are in corporate and they're making a lot of money and they cannot part with it, but they're miserable. So knowing that we're all on our own here, but how can you encourage someone to tap into that inner entrepreneur and let go of that fear and of that paycheck?
Yeah, it's a very deep question, and it's a reasonable, important question to answer. So we have to align with ourselves, with the truth that who we really are inside. So when we are present with ourselves, then they can realize, okay, of course they might have families, and I didn't have any family. I'm a single person. I'm just going to go do whatever. I traveled the world and I had a bunch of savings, and for several years, and I was studying as well. I did business degree and MBA while I was kind of working myself out, but also I was very strong on learning what I wanted to learn. And funny thing, I think I told you last time that all the books I used to read, my favorite books, all those authors started to just come into my life as friends and mentors. So that was like a law of attraction thing happened for me. And I can understand that people might be in different circumstances and their family member might be unwell and they cannot do that. But they have to make a plan. They have to figure out a plan. How can they slowly you can eat I'm vegan, but I use this example still. How can they eat the elephant bit by bit? And you have to start from somewhere. They can just have the experience of it, like little bit of it. So, okay, well, they have 40 hours a week job. Can they kind of do little things and then slowly you can let go and then make a big plan and also work with other people, find trustworthy people around you and work with them, because my mom probably failed in maths, but she always taught me 1 + 1 is 11. Great synergistic relationships that will help you to propel yourself forward, because then you might be good at certain things and they might be good at certain things, and that's how they can find that leap of faith inside of them. And and then they slowly can let go, because maybe the money, so all the lifestyle that they have, is the lifestyle important? Is that actually making them happy? And or is that if they're going to do their own thing and the money will be for short time, because they have a plan in their head, and the plan might fail as well, so that you have to be prepared. And it's about character strength as well. So finding
Yes.
a way. So if they have enough character strength inside of them, then they will find a way, and they will fail, but they wouldn't give up. They will carry on moving.
Exactly. I feel like running through the streets going, yes, you can do it. Yes. And I think also another way that someone can actually get unstuck is to volunteer. Because when you start helping other people and you realize that you're making a difference, you turn around and look at your life and go, oh, what am I doing over here? Like, I'm doing this for free and it feels so good. And I'm doing this and it doesn't feel so good. So I think that's just my experience. Mariska, anything you want to add to that?
I think adding to the volunteering, and even to what Preet said with the little bits, eating your elephant in small bits at a time. So if it is too scary for you and you don't have an idea yet, go and volunteer at a space that you do enjoy, right? And take up the things that would set you up in your own business. So say, for instance, there is a volunteer role and it's around finances and you're horrible at finances, put your hand up for it and learn, right? Because that would also give you the skills that you then need once you want to go out on your own. So there's so many different ways that we can incorporate things in our life. And a lot of the time, fear keeps us back.
Yes,
so
sure.
And I'm sure with Preet, your little tool comes back to me, and you mentioned that you actually co-creating it with somebody that knows technology, and those symbiotic relationships are so important. So creating those symbioses within your life, within your workspaces, that would absolutely serve you for years to come. So keep creating those. They might not look like anything right now, but a couple of years down the line, I mean, me and JACALYN met in 2019. We never knew that we would be doing this.
And we never met in person.
And we never met in person.
She's in New Zealand and I'm in the United States. It's crazy. It's crazy. But so, Preet, when people want to reach out to you and they want to work with you and they want to learn more, what would be the best way for someone to do this? And are you taking on new clients?
Yeah. At the moment, really open. So I've opened up my schedule for mornings, because I kind of had parked this this kind of the mentoring thing that I do, because I was so involved in so many other tech projects. But now I would love to help somebody in the kind of help create this quantum mind map. And they can reach out to me on any social media platforms, and they can message me on mail to preet@me.com, and on Facebook, LinkedIn. Happy to help anybody.
That's fantastic. Preet, would you put in the private chat what the email addresses, and I'd love to share that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mariska, any final thoughts that you have to share with Preet?
Final thoughts. Ooh, Preet, I love what you're creating in the world and helping people with that clarity, especially having a map. There's so many times when we feel lost. And Dr. JACALYN, we started off the show mentioning that head down, bum up sort of situation that we get into, right? Having a map is such a good way to remind us where we're going. And I think that is a useful tool that, well, whether you are a community leader, a business leader, a leader within your own family, is something that all of us can definitely use. So I want to thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. I'm so appreciative of your time. Thank you ever so much for all the work that you guys are doing. You're always serving, doing your light work. God bless you guys.
Oh, thank you. God bless you too. And Preet will give you the last word.
Well, thank you. So I would just say that developing presence is the most important thing. So only by developing that presence we can be present for all the magic around us. So let's unwrap that present. That's why it's called present. So we'll just stop here. Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely seeing you again. Keep up the great work, and please come back and see us on this or any of our other shows.
God bless you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I'll see Ian and Helena on Wednesday and let them know that we had you here.
God bless
It's
you.
great. All right. Thank you. God bless you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So as we close out the show, I just wanted to share one thing, because Preet was talking about books and whatnot, and I want to just recommend this book. It's by Dr. Joseph Maroon. It's called Square One, A Simple Guide to a Balanced Life. And I had the privilege of interviewing him with Annie Bush on our show, Loving Longevity, on Friday. This is the doctor. He is an 8-time triathlete. He's 81 now. And I think the last one he ran, I don't know if it was 2 years ago or he just ran one, and he's going to run 2 others. But he is the head neurologist for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is with the University of Pittsburgh, and he's also somebody who's cutting edge in terms of how can we live a longer, healthier life. And I learned from him about dark chocolate. I was saying that I love chocolate, and I love chocolate covered pretzels. And we were just joking about that, but you can actually eat dark chocolate. And we came up with the idea, actually Annie did, of chocolate covered blueberries, because blueberries are so good for you. So I purchased this book, and it happened to come on Friday when we were interviewing him. So I highly recommend it. And I think it's got a lot of really valuable information about longevity, things to do and things not to do. And as I mentioned to you at the beginning, I'm now fasting for 18 hours of the day, and I gave up Chardonnay. Yay. It's all good.
There you go. Another fun fact. Did you know that chocolate, dark chocolate, as far as I know, and coffee has, I think it's one molecule or one structural change between the two of them. So if you want to wean yourself off coffee, dark chocolate is the way to go.
How about that? Very interesting for all you coffee drinkers out there. I have never had a cup of coffee.
Really?
Never. No, I grew up on tea, but iced tea. But I gave up caffeine 3.5 years ago. But I've never liked the smell of coffee.
That is very interesting.
Are you a coffee drinker?
I grew up on coffee. My mom, when I was little, drank about but anything between 5 to 10 cups of coffee a day.
Wow.
Yeah, she drank a lot of coffee. So yeah, I grew up on coffee, and it's sort of, I know for most people it gives them a little bit of a kick and it keeps them awake. I can actually drink a cup of coffee just before going to bed and nothing happens.
You're sleeping.
I'm sleeping.
Well, for the last 3.5 years, the only thing I was drinking was water. And I like a certain kind of water, which I'm not a paid spokesperson, so I'm not going into it, and Chardonnay. And I only like a certain kind of Chardonnay. So now I'm just drinking water. And I don't have any caffeine. I don't have anything to give me a kick or a lift. It's just all in here and in here.
That's the best way to go. I have to say, I have weaned myself off coffee. I sometimes drink coffee, but not really that often. I do drink berry teas, so they don't have any caffeine in them. It's basically like drinking a water with flavoring. It doesn't even have sugar or anything else in it.
Good.
Or alternatively, I'll drink rooibos tea, which is a South African bush that they make the tea from. That I also really enjoy, and it's also 0 calories, caffeine, nothing in it. It's basically a herbal tea.
Good for you. So you're caffeine free also.
Yeah.
Yay. And look how much energy we have.
Exactly.
We're doing our lunches.
Need all of the other stuff.
No, you don't. It's interesting because one of our team members, Red, he's always, and actually Annie and Ricky, they're always talking about reading the labels. And I was at the store buying some things for my mom, and I just happened to look at the labels. And even though it says 0 this and 0 that, you look and it's like this whole list of things that you've never even heard of before. And you might see the word fruit in this 25-letter word. It's like
at the end.
Yeah, this is something that somebody mixed up somewhere, and somebody in a research lab came up with this. So it's better if it's just from the ground, or it's organic. It's something that hasn't had anything added to it.
Yeah. My rule of thumb is if I can't pronounce whatever it is that's in it, I try to avoid buying it. Because
it's true. It's the same thing in cosmetics. I told you that I was a makeup artist on the side for a long time, which really came in handy when I started doing this. But makeup has a lot of chemicals in it, and so does shampoo and all these different things. And if you are susceptible to allergies like I am, you would be shocked. Like, I cannot wear glitter eyeshadow or purple eyeshadow. I can't have anything that has metal in it or glitter in it. I immediately get like styes. It's very pretty. It's attractive. I'll have to take a picture. No, I'm not getting them anymore. So we have to be really careful. And we're totally off subject, by the way, but that's okay. Yes. We're just having fun. So we're going to close out now. And I'm going to put up your contact information. And if you would be so wonderful to let people know who should reach out to you and how you'd like them to do that.
Wow. I would love to hear from any specialists that might be moving into leadership, or leaders that want to up their game. And they can reach out to me either on my email, which is mariska@journey2 with the number 2 discover.com, or alternatively, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Write me a private message, and I would love to hear how you actually heard about me, and what I would be able to help you with. So any one of those two is the ones that I am most active on. I also, of course, have Facebook and Instagram, which, they do get attention, but not so often.
I love the authenticity there. That's great. I'm not big on Instagram either, but I'm over there here and there, but that's not my number one platform either, because we don't stream live. They won't let you stream there. So yeah. All right, my friend, I will see you again. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day as you just start out there.
Yes, I am definitely. I see the sun is coming out. I saw on my weather predictions, I'm most probably going to have some rain showers later this afternoon. So while I'm seeing the sun, I'll make a bit of a turn outside, so I don't get wet later on. So
and remember
that
your
is
lunges
fun.
while you're out there.
Yes,
Lunge away.
definitely lunge away.
All right. Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Well, folks, that concludes our shows for today. Thank you so much for watching or listening, depending if you're listening on the radio or watching us on television. If you're over on our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, please do click subscribe. We would love to have you as part of our family here at USA Global TV and Radio. A couple of very quick announcements. We have our special event coming up, which is the reunion show on May the 1st. We now have 5 openings left. So a couple people signed up today. This is your opportunity to promote your business, your service, your product, your book, your event, your film, your poem, your screenplay. It's not an interview. It's all about promotion. You get 15 minutes within an hour to go ahead and let everybody know about you across the world, how they can get in contact with you, what you have to offer. So if you're interested, please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and book your session. I will put it in the comments. And then finally, we have one more announcement, which is we have an elevated listening community over on my other website, drjacalyn.com. This is where I teach people how to listen at an elevated level. If you would like to join our community, you will receive a link to a video every Sunday, Monday morning at the latest. Mariska helps me with that, as does Caroline Heward, and so does Madeline Chan, and some other of our wonderful team members. And you will get a video that includes a guided meditation, fitness tips, listening tips, and education based on what we have shared during all the broadcasts. We have 20 to 25 live broadcasts every week. So go over to drjacalyn.com/join. Okay, that's all I have for you right now. I'm going to continue on my fasting and go get another workout in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you, Preet. Thank you, Mariska. Bye.